Hello, listener. If you tune into the pod on a regular basis, you know how fond I am of saying pastures are for horses, not humans. On this episode, I'm going to share with you why I use this phrase so often and why I believe it's a clear illustration of the painful side effects caused by ageism. You see, I grew up with horses. Everyone in my family rode. Everyone in past generations rode. In fact, in World War I, both of my grandfathers rode in the cavalry. And in the late 1800s, my grandmother's horse was stolen by horse thieves when she was 8 years old. Learning to ride was not an option in my family. We had formal lessons every week, and honestly, I was not that fond of the equestrian riding experience. I did not enjoy getting jostled around, nor did I enjoy the upkeep of a horse, picking out their hooves, currying their sweet oh-so-big bodies, and cleaning out their stinky stalls. But I do admit there is one thing I did like about equestrian riding: the outfits. No surprise there, right? So when I say pastures are for horses, not humans, I'm actually seeing the horses in the pasture from my childhood, hanging out there quietly every day, munching on grass, being brought into the stalls in the evening, feeding, watering, rinse and repeat. That's why I think it's the best image for how society treats folks over 65. You're supposed to wave goodbye to relevance, step aside, and shuffle yourself off to some invisible pasture. You'll get fed and watered and occasionally taken out for a ride, but that's it. The idea that we suddenly become less valuable, less capable, or less worthy of contributing to society once the clock strikes midnight on a milestone birthday? Nothing could be further from the truth. That story is what we call indoctrination. Those cultural scripts that have been passed down for generations, reinforced by outdated retirement models, ageist stereotypes, and frankly, lazy thinking. Did you know retirement was invented in an era when people didn't live much past 65? Back then, maybe it made sense to stop working because your body was tired, your mind was tired, and your time was short. But today, people are living well into their 80s, 90s, and beyond. That's decades of life. Decades. If you look back on the last 2 or 3 decades, what do you see? Yeah, exactly. Why are we letting societal norms and stereotypes shackle us to a miserable future? And here's what happens when we internalize those beliefs. We shrink. We silence our dreams. We stop raising our hands. And we stop daring. Because we've been taught that past a certain age, the best we can hope for is to fade into the background politely. Let me ask you this. When has age ever stopped a dreamer? 2 obvious examples: Laura Ingalls Wilder, who published her first Little House book in her 60s, and Colonel Sanders, who launched KFC in his 60s. Today, people in their 70s and 80s are starting businesses. They're learning new technologies, traveling solo, falling in love, writing books, picking up instruments, and learning new languages, all for the very first time. Dreams don't come with expiration dates. The only expiration date is the one on our final breath. And until then, we are alive. Blessed to be here, right? And every single day is an invitation to keep moving forward with a spring in our step. Now, does this mean everyone has to stay in the workforce forever? Of course not. But it does mean we are still employable if that's what we want. Maybe not always in the same way as before. Maybe it's consulting, mentoring, freelancing, volunteering, or starting that passion project that's been tugging at your heart. There are so many ways to contribute, to earn, to serve, and to create impact. And let's talk about learning. Too many people believe you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Well, first of all, you're not a dog. And second of all, that phrase is complete nonsense. Our brains are built for lifelong learning. Science proves it. Neuroplasticity doesn't vanish at 65. You can learn a new skill, a new language, or a new way of being at any age. So let's shatter those old beliefs, okay? Belief. Aging means slowing down. Truth. You can keep going and glowing at whatever pace feels right for you. Belief. Retirement means you're done. Truth. Retirement can mean you're just getting started on your terms. Belief. Past a certain age, no one wants to hire you. Truth. Your value doesn't disappear. Your wisdom, lived experiences, and resilience are priceless, and there are always ways to share them. Here's what I want you to take away from this episode. You are not done. You are not past your prime. You are not destined for the pasture. You are alive. And as long as you have breath in your lungs and curiosity in your heart, there is more for you. So let's refuse to buy into those indoctrinated beliefs. Let's choose possibility over limitation. Let's honor the incredible gift of being here at this age with all the lessons we've gathered. And let's move forward together with curiosity, courage, aging out loud and proud all the way. Because pastures, they're for horses, not humans. Listener, what about you? What beliefs about aging or retirement are you ready to toss out the window? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop me a comment or send me a message. And remember, sharing is caring. So if this episode lifted your spirits or sparked new ideas, please share it forward with a friend who could use the reminder that pastures are for horses, not humans. Until next time, stay curious, stay courageous, and always keep growing and glowing. Waving from Boston and wishing you a delicious day everywhere you glow. Cheers. Listeners, I'm so grateful you carved out time to tune in and grab the gems from this delicious conversation. Be sure to hop on over to Don't Be Caged by Your Age on LinkedIn or Instagram to share your thoughts about ageism and unretirement. Because in this space, your age doesn't define you, it refines you. If you are inspired by a story you hear, it would mean the world to me if you would subscribe, share, rate, and review the podcast. To receive an alert whenever a new show is posted, please join the Don't Be Caged by Your Age newsletter. Every month, you'll receive links to the podcast and helpful resources for creating possibilities for your unretirement days. Thank you for tuning in. I am so excited to hear how you found ways to thrive after 65. Waving from Boston, cheers.